Hello everyone and welcome to the first Winter 2023-24 update from GavsWeatherVids. So here we go, this is it everybody, the wait is over, the countdown has begun, and yes, we're about to deliver our first Winter 2023-24 update. Wow, hello and thank you so much everybody for tuning in. Over the next 12, maybe 13 weeks, we're going to be doing winter updates every single week, building up the picture forensically for all of the things that we look at within our GavsWeatherVids winter forecast methodology, and it will all build up to the winter forecast being released at the beginning of December. I haven't got a date for that yet. I will get that for you in a couple of weeks' time. But yes, this is it. The countdown has begun, and I'm going to get on with the first Winter 2023-24 update for you in a moment. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you so much to everybody on the premiere. We are premiering this first Winter update, so hello to all of you on the premiere. I'm in the live chat with you, hopefully, so we're watching it together and probably having a little bit of a laugh. Gav saying hello to himself, but no, seriously, thank you so much, everybody, for watching, whether you're watching on the premiere, whether you're watching afterwards on demand. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for being here, not just for this first winter update, but for all the winter updates that we've done over the past few years. So it's like a couple of years ago that I thought maybe I'd do my final winter updates back in 2021. So here we are, a couple of years on, and Gav's still going, Gav's still in business, and we've got another season of winter updates to enjoy together. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much to Richard for the amazing, and look at this, the incredible winter updates gift. I expanded this one out. I normally have a little bit smaller than that, but this is so gorgeous that I just wanted to show it off in all of its glory. Thank you so much, Rich. I love it. Wonderful gift. Thank you so much, my friend. Let's hope that's not as close as we ever get to snow for this winter. I've got like a fox, I think it's a fox and a deer there, so we'll be naming those a little bit later on in the winter update. Thank you so much, Richard. Thank you so much, Siberian, as well. So when we get to the sections that Richard and Shrine have helped with, I'll, of course, give them a big shout out. We've got actually a presentation from Richard that we're going to end this update with. So that will be coming up later on at the end of the video. Thank you so much to hashtag Team Gav. Wow. Incredible. Thank you so much to Richard Traut and also to Shrine for their help with this first Winter 2023-24 update. So I think with that said, we better crack on to you. Why don't we? Why don't we do that? So we're going to start off actually with analogues for this one. And we're going to pick up exactly where we left off. Well, not exactly where we left off, but where we went with the 9th autumn update, actually, which was looking at front-loaded summer. So this is from the climate averages page at the UK Met Office. This is confirming, look how warm June was with the temperature anomaly, the mean temperature anomaly during June. Very warm June, hot June, especially so in the west. But look what happens in July. It turns significantly cooler in July, with particularly central southern parts of England, Wales coming out below average. And then in August, well, Scotland and Northern Ireland sees a little bit of a recovery in the temperature, but England and Wales actually just average it down on the south coast, a little bit cooler than average. So definitely June was the best of it. As far as precipitation goes as well, we can see that the rainfall, again, June was relatively dry across many parts of the country, but look what happens in July. Yes, it starts turning significantly wetter as we get through into July, and then in August, where we see a little bit of a mix as we go through into August. So we call this a front-loaded summer, where the best of the warm, dry weather is in the early front part of the summer. And of course, on our 9th autumn update, we had a look at autumns following front-loaded summers. We're going to do exactly the same thing here. The only difference is we're going to be looking at winters following front-loaded summers. I just want to go back and have a look at sunshine as well, because I'm not sure how that came out, but I imagine that had the same trend. So I better have a quick look at that as well. So where's our sunshine? There we go. So look how sunny it was as well in June there. Very, very sunny June, particularly in the northern and western part of the country, but all areas coming out above average for sunshine. What happens with sunshine in July? Look at that. Goes significantly duller as we get through into July. So August looks like this. Again, no sign of, but we get back to where we was in June. Overall average or duller than average for sunshine across most parts of the country in August. So for all parameters, whether it's temperature, whether it's rainfall, whether it's sunshine, June was the best of the summer, and as I say, we call that a front-loaded summer. Right, so we're going to have a look at winters following front-loaded summers. These are the same years that we use in our 9th autumn update, but instead of autumn, looking at winter. So we're starting off with the winter of 1950-1951 after the front-loaded summer of 1950. This is a wet winter with below average heights, low pressure through the west of Europe, and the jet stream is pushed down here. So, of course, this has a cold December, very cold December in 1950, quite a bit of snow, quite a bit of winteriness. Overall, after Christmas, it gets milder. This is the winter of 1951-1952. This one also with a lot of low pressure, below average heights to our north of the east. The high pressure is pulled out into the Atlantic, same with jet stream in, something like that. So cool snaps probably during winter of 1951, 1952, but not a cold winter. 1957, 1958 gets colder later, but starts off with below average heights across the country, relatively mild in December of 1957. But the block here in the North Atlantic up towards Greenland does dip again away, but the winter does get colder as we progress on. So this is what we call a backloaded winter, actually, with the coldest weather later on in the winter. We've got 1960, 1961 showing up next, following the front-loaded summer of 1960. This one with lots of low pressure into Western Europe. That's relatively mild and wet winter. It does have some cold weather in December, I think. 1961, 1962 has a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland with a trough of low pressure to our east. We tend to bring the wind in from the northwest with that. It's a forgotten winter because, of course, it's very overshadowed by the following winter, which is the daddy of cold winters, 62, 63. This winter does have its moments, so it has colder snaps, especially around the new year of 61, 62, I think, and then particularly though through later February and into March of 1962. March 1962 is a very, very, very cold month indeed. We've got the winter of 1970, 1971 following the front-loaded summer of 1970. This one again with the above average heights to the north, but below average heights to the south, winds in from the east. This has a white Christmas in 1970, but the rest of the winter is relatively mild. 86, 87 shows up next, quite a long gap to our next front-loaded summer in 1986. This one again with high pressure to the north, low pressures away to the east, winds coming in from that east or northeasterly direction. Wow, 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 wow. Has the freeze up of January 1987, one of the coldest single spells of weather probably since the winter of 1740. Overall, it is a cold winter for 86, 87. Then we've got 1988, 1989. This is dry and exceptionally mild winter with high pressure from the Azores into Western Europe, low pressure pushed away to the north. We've got 1992, 1993. This is a mild anticyclonic winter, definitely one to forget. And we've got 93, 94, much more cyclonic, a lot wetter, but not necessarily all that much colder. There are a few cold snaps during that winter, particularly around Christmas of 1993, between Christmas and New Year, and then again, particularly in February of 1994, there's a couple of quite potent cold spells. And then we've got 2010, 2011. Look at this, but December to remember from December 2010, with all of this blocking up to the north, low pressure down to south. That follows the front-loaded summer of 2010. So brutal cold in the December to remember. after Christmas it gets mild, and actually has an exceptionally mild February, which a lot of people forget about that winter. But when it's on, boy, is that winter on. And then lastly, we've got 2017-2018. So our last front-loaded summer was 2017. The winter of 2017-18 is the beast from the east winter, has below average heights just to our east, above average heights pulled out to the west. There is cold potential with that. No, it's a little bit on off, you know. There is a cold spell in December, when it gets mild around Christmas to New Year's, it often does. January, you know, a few little cold snaps coming and going. The cold really comes later on in February, after that sudden stratospheric warming that occurs early in February of 2018, and then we set up the beasterly easterlies, of course. Right, let's put all of that together then. So this is how all Decembers combined are looking, following front-loaded summers with below average heights over and to the east country, above average heights in the Atlantic. It's a rather unsettled, relatively mild-ish signal, but with a little bit of cold snap potential. There is cold snap potential with that due to the mid-Atlantic ridge, but it would not be sustained cold weather generally. January just looks mild and wet. All Januaries combined, following front-loaded summers are just generally Atlantic-driven, mild and wet. On average, there will be years that deviate and do something different. 1987, for example, as I've explained, contains that freezing cold January. And, or spelling January, and then all Februaries combined, maybe a little bit more cold potential with the Februaries, as higher pressure starts building to the north, and low pressure with the jet stream gets pushed southwards. You could see the wind going into the east with some of those Februaries. And lastly, this is how all winters combined are looking, following front-loaded summers, and it is an unsettled and wet signal for these winters overall, with low pressure across the country and out the Atlantic, some higher pressure in the Atlantic pulled away from us. So there's cold snap potential with those winters, but they are not necessarily signalling a particularly cold scenario. But nevertheless, there are some in there that are cold. We've got 1987, and we've got the December to remember 2010 in there as well. Right, okay, so that's the analogues for this update. We'll have many, many more analogues over the next few weeks. We'll be looking at summer and August data in the next couple of updates, and as we progress on, we will look at all of the big drivers through the analogues as well. But that's it for the analogues for this update. I'm going to pause the video. Bever's going to give everybody a nice laugh in the live chat. I'll pause the video there. You go off and stretch your legs, unless you're on the premiere with me. You go off and stretch your legs, and when we return, we're going to look at solar data and see what's happening with the sun. So I'll see you in 2 seconds. Okay, we're back and we're ready to resume the first winter 2023-24 update. Good first section, wasn't it? Looking at those winters following front-load suns. Well, what did you do in the break, everybody? Did you have a cup of tea? Did you have some magic water? Did you, go off and do some cooking? Let me know what you did in the break. I might have had 1 or 2 little drops of the magic water, but we shall see what happens as we progress on. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here on this winter 2023-24 update premiere, and also those watching it afterwards. Thank you so much, Richard, to our incredible gift. I love it. Right, let's crack on then. Going to have a look at solar activity. So this is how the solar disk is looking on our side of this day from solarham.net. We have got actually not that many sunspot regions. There's 5 of them, but nevertheless, solar activity was at moderate levels today, and is expected to remain at moderate levels. This is the GavsWeatherVids first winter 2023-24 update solar activity tracker sent through by Shryan Brown. Thank you so much to Shryan for sending this through to us. So we can see that we had a big ramp up in solar activity earlier on in the summer. Back in June, we saw big spike in solar activity. We are now down here, so we're at a lower level for sunspot numbers. Remember, the orange spots depicting each individual day as well of sunspot activity. So you can see the trend from like December 21, which is the green line, is very much in an upwards fashion. We have moved towards solar maxima. We are probably quite close to solar maxima now within the next year or two. That could be the first maximum of solar cycle 25, but we see just there. We can't say until we're past solar maximum when the solar maxes occur. You normally get 2 solar maximums within a solar cycle. That might be the first solar maximum, with the second solar max coming up in 2024 or more likely 2025. As I say, we won't know until we pass solar maximum and descending into solar minimum when the solar maxes actually occur. But certainly that was a pretty big spike in activity that we had there back earlier on in the summer. We are now down here at a lower level of solar activity, and we wait to see whether we're going to get further spikes upwards, which I suspect we will do. This is also from Shrine, so this is showing solar cycle 25 compared to solar cycle 24 on a month-by-month basis. So again, just confirming that June, July up here for solar activity with the blue line and blue spot, but August drops down to here, so definite weakening drop of sunspot numbers as we go from June and July into August. Again, we wait to see how long it takes us to lift that blue line and the blue spots back upwards again. You can see how we have come out of solar minimum, which occurred, of course, in 2019. It was a slow lift up out of solar minimum. For quite a while we thought we were going to do another solar cycle 24, but over the past year or so, activity has increased quite significantly, and this is a bigger cycle now, as you can see, compared to the last solar cycle number 24. So we're up here at the moment, and that's where we was for solar cycle 24 during the maximum phase. So clearly we are having a rather more active solar cycle for number 25 compared to the previous solar cycle number 24. That said, it is still a relatively weak solar cycle historically. Right, this is sent through by Richard. So this is showing spotted days and the current spotted stretch. We normally look at days that don't have sunspots, spotless days. But Richard, for the first winter update, we do something a little bit different. I think it took him a long time to work this out, so thank you so much to Richard for working all of these years and numbers out. So, for 2023 so far, you can see that we have had 246 days with sunspots. That is 100% of the year. And the current spotless stretch is therefore 246 days for this year. In 2022, we have 364 days of the year with sunspots. That was 99% of the year. 2021 had 201 days with sunspots, which was 82% of the year. 2020 had 158 days with sunspots. That was just 43% of the year. Of course, the solar minimum year, 2019, only had 84 days with sunspots, and that was just 23% of the year. Our comparable year for this year, 2023, is, I believe, 2011. So that year had 363 days with sunspots, and that was 99% of the year. You see that the following years, most of them have like 99 or 100% with sunspots. So for the next 3-4 years, we can expect all of the years to have sunspots. It'll probably be around 2027 that we start seeing the first spotless days beginning to gather pace as we move ever more towards solar minimum for solar cycle 25-26. Thank you so much to Richard, the amazing Richard Traut, for sending that through for us. Thank you so much to Shrine for updating our trackers. You're going to see all of this throughout this season of winter updates. We could keep posting on solar activity as we always do. Thank you so much to Shrine and to Richard for that data. This is how the QBO is currently shaping up. So the quasi-binary oscillation has moved into its easterly phase. This is from NASA. So with this, you have to think that these are the levels of the atmosphere just here from the stratosphere atmosphere, top of the atmosphere and the stratosphere at 10 HPA to the troposphere, which is the boundary level of the atmosphere that we call the troposphere, which is 30 to 50 HPA, showing easterly and westerly QBO phases with the colours. So the blue-green area, that is the current easterly phase of the quasi-Siberian oscillation. The previous westerly phase of the QBO is this sandy brown area just here. You can see how the easterly QBO had descended from the stratosphere into the troposphere. There is now within the 30 HPA boundary level. Let's see how straight I can draw my line. Not too bad. That's right, isn't it? Now you can clearly see that easterly QBO had descended into the troposphere from the stratosphere. So this winter 2023-24, will be an easterly QBO winter. Later on in the updates through reanalysis, we will determine what that could mean. But for now, we're just monitoring the QBO, and we're confirming that yes, we are in the easterly phase of the quasi-Siberian oscillation. This is from NOAA, so we won't dwell on this too long for this week. But next week we will have August QBO number placed just here. You can see how we start 2023 with positive numbers with a westerly QBO. In the first months around sort of May, June time, they begin to drop, and as we get into July, that's when we get our first negative months. That's when we get our first easterly month of the quasi-Siberian oscillation. I would suspect that August number will be more negative than July, and we should see negativity gathering pace as we go through the remainder of 2023 and into 2024. We look at the QBO because when you're in an easterly phase of the quasi-Siberian oscillation, you weaken the zonal westerly. So easterly QBO phases can coincide with an increased chance of colder winters. It's not quite that straightforward, but we'll discuss that a lot more as the updates go on. But there have been several mild easterly QBO winters, of course. Arctic oscillation observed and forecast. We always keep a close eye on the AO and the NAO. So the black line shows where we've been with the Arctic oscillation. Red lines at the airweb GFS ensembles are forecasting the Arctic oscillation to go. Currently, we are in a positive phase of the AO. We're expecting that the AO will drop to neutral, possibly to weekly negative territory when we get towards the middle of September. So at the moment, very positive with the AO, but expecting it to go neutral and then maybe negative by mid-September. Remember, the AO doesn't drive anything in its own terms, just tells what it actually is doing. So when we've got low pressure over the Arctic, the AO will be positive. When we've got high pressure blocking over the Arctic, the AO will be negative. This will be something we focus on much more as we get closer to the winter. The NAO, same idea. So again, the black line shows where we've been with the North Atlantic oscillation. Red lines of GFS and Sols are forecasting the NAO to go. At the moment, the NAO is also in positive territory and is expected to remain strongly positive territory through the next few days. But similar to the AO, the trend for the NAO is to trend down to neutral and then possibly even to weak negative by the middle of September. That could be a signal. So both those indexes being very positive at the moment is a signal for the war that we've got coming up through the first week of September. But that could be an indication by the middle of September the overall pattern is changing to something perhaps cooler and wetter for northern and also western parts of Europe. This is a fan favourite, and you'll see much more of this later on in the updates, but this is showing Eurasian snow cover and Arctic sea ice extent. Now, you can see from these little white patches that we do already have snow cover in eastern portions of Siberia. Not much, but there is a little bit there. That's from the 1st of September. It is quite unusual to see, I mean, it's not much there, but it is quite unusual to see any snow on the 1st of September in eastern portions of Siberia. So already the first snowflakes have fallen. Over the next 2 or 3 months, the whole of Eurasia will get covered, well, the whole of Siberia, Russia, will get covered with snow, and that snow by the end of November should be pushing into eastern parts of Europe. We'll also be focusing on what's happening up over Scandinavia as well. So that's always a fan favourite. We've shown that right from the beginning of the winter updates. People love to see how quickly that snow line is advancing across Siberia and Russia and Europe and Scandinavia, etc., etc., etc. And you'll be seeing much more of that through the updates, especially when we get towards October. We'll start comparing, you know, year by year, all the way back to the 1960s. Big melt season again. We see quite a lot of Arctic sea ice has melted. Let's see how big a season this melt season has been. So this blue line is the current melt season, so we're almost at the low point for this year's melt season. Let's add in the 30-year average, or the 10-year averages, I should say. So starting off with 78 to 1990, clearly we are well underneath that average. We've got 91 to 2020, we are also under that average. We have got 2001, 2010, we're under that 10-year average, and 2011, 2020, which we're actually bang on. So we're actually bang on our most recent 10-year average. Let's put in a few of the more recent years, shall we? So let's get rid of all that. That and that can go, and that can go. There we go. Right, so how do we compare 2022 last year? We're under 2022 for Arctic Circus extent at the moment. 2021, we are under that year as well. 2020, we're above 2020 actually for Arctic sea ice extent. We're very close to 2019. For 2018, we're a little bit under 2018. 2017, very close to that one, slightly under. 2016, almost bang on. 2015, bang on that year as well. 2014, we are under 2014, and we're under 2013 as well. That's 2012. That's the record minimum year for Arctic Circus extent. We are significantly above that year. So again, 2012 looks safe. We're not going to beat 2012 for the melt season, for the Arctic melt season this year, I would have thought. We're bang on 2011, extraordinarily close to that year. We're a little bit under 2010. For 2009, we're under that year too. For 2008, we're very close to that, slightly under. 2007, you know, we are virtually bang on. 2007. 2006, we're significantly under that year. 2005, we're significantly under that year as well, and all of the years thereafter we're going to be significantly under. I will not go through them, but I might do that next week. So yes, you know, for Arctic Circus extent, another big melt season, but there are a couple of years there, most notably of course 2012, that we have had bigger melt seasons. Right, we're having a little break. I think we've been talking 27 minutes. When we come back, we're going to show you oceans and ENSO data. So more in a couple of minutes time. I'll see you in a mo. Okay, we're back and we're ready to resume the first Winter 2023-24 update from GavsWeatherVids. If you have enjoyed this first update, it's been epic so far, I think. But if you've enjoyed it, please you like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for me and also for GavsWeatherVids as well. Wow. Winter updates have commenced once more. As I said, it's only a couple of years ago, but I was wondering if that was going to be my last season of winter updates, my last winter forecast, due to, you know, medical things and other things that were going on at the time. But here we are, we're still there, Gaz, still going strong, and we're beginning another season of winter updates. Can you believe it, everybody? Wow. Thank you so much. I'm so incredibly grateful, you know, that I'm still here. As the song goes, I'm still standing. Gaz, still standing, despite everything. Thank you so much. Okay, let's have a look at ocean data then. So this is how the oceans were looking when we did the sunny roundup last week. So we've got our 4 areas of interest, of course. Let's change the colour. We've got the ENSO region in the equatorial Pacific Ocean just here. We've got the northern Pacific just here, and the northeastern Pacific particular focus. Indian Ocean is over there, and North Atlantic Ocean is over here. Let's see how things have changed over the past week. This is the latest. So dealing with the ENSO region, first of all, the signature for El Nino continued, particularly in the eastern portion of the equatorial Pacific Ocean. But all regions of the ENSO region are displaying an El Nino signature. More about that in a moment. The northern and northeastern Pacific remains in a very warm state as well. However, we do still have a signature for the cold PDO, the cold Pacific Decadal Oscillation. That area of cold sea surface temperature anomalies there close to Hawaii, indicating that the cold PDO signature does continue. How has that held up over the past week? So there's not been much change, but it might actually strengthen slightly over the past week, particularly around here. So it's going to be very interesting whether that can hold on or whether that fades out and that area warms up too. It is very warm to the north of it and very warm to the south of it, so it's under a lot of pressure, under a lot of stress, that cold PDO signature. That's going to be something we'll be focusing on in the next in the next few weeks, of course. But yeah, we do see that the Pacific is in a pretty warm state. Now, over in the Indian Ocean, we've got a positive IOD going on. So we're warmer just here, and we're cooler over here towards Indonesia. So we're warmer towards Asia, towards India, and we're cooler towards Indonesia. And this, when this happens in the Indian Ocean, that is a positive IOD, Indian Ocean Dipole signature. More about that a little bit later on. In North Atlantic, it's just very, very warm, really, in all in all areas, to be honest. Though, as has been the case throughout the year, I mean, it's not as warm actually as it was around May, June time, when the North Atlantic was, looked like the verge on fire. But it is significantly warmer than average across pretty much all portions of the North Atlantic at the moment. And normally when we have an El Nino developing, we have a weaker hurricane season. Most of the storms will occur in this area and up here rather than in the Atlantic. But because we've got such a warm North Atlantic as well, and tropical and subtropical Atlantic, that could be the reason that the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season has ramped up a little bit. So as far as the 7-day trend has concerned, 7-day change, this is how things have changed. So in the northeastern Pacific, things have warmed up there. In the equatorial Pacific Ocean, the ENSO region, things warming in the central western portion, maybe cooling slightly though over in the eastern region, although still very significantly above average as we've already established. I think that is that cooling just there in the Atlantic is the effects of the storms that have been going on and the hurricanes and whatnot. But mostly the Atlantic has warmed over the past 7 days in most areas, particularly like in the northern region just here towards Newfoundland, etc. We do see there that there has been, really quite extensive warming of the Atlantic over the past week. Notice the Mediterranean Sea, interestingly, has cooled down quite a lot over the past week, but is still in quite a warm state, of course. In the Indian Ocean, we can see that most areas in the west, anyway, have warmed. There has been a little bit of warming over in the eastern portion as well. This is the SOI, the Southern Oscillation Index. This is an index that's reflecting the atmospheric state in the Southern Pacific Ocean. So measuring air pressure between Tahiti and Darwin, when you've got a positive SOI, the atmospheric state will be reflective of La Nina. When you've got a negative SOI, atmospheric state will be reflective of El Nino. So these are our columns for barometric pressure for Tahiti and Darwin. This is the overall SOI number. You can see it's all negative. Really, I won't go through all the numbers. You can see them themselves. It's all negative, telling us that the atmospheric state between Darwin and Tahiti in the Southern Pacific Ocean is very reflective of El Nino. The atmosphere is coupled with the ocean. The 30-day average is dropping again. Did tick up a little bit through the middle part of August, but is dropping again and is in solid negative territory. So the atmosphere and the ocean are coupled, and that means that El Nino will continue. CFSB2 is forecasting this to become a strong El Nino event, not a super Nino. It's backed off that prediction a couple of months ago, going up here with prediction. It's now going for a peak of around 2 degrees above average temperature, anomalies along the side, dates in periods along the bottom. So, yes, we see that the CFSB2 It's forecasting that will peak at around 2 degrees above average in the central part of the actual Pacific Ocean, which is a strong but not super Nino. Also indicating a Madoki central base El Nino. So currently, this is for regions 1 and 2. Let's just explain the regions very quickly. So regions 1 and 2 are going to be around here. Regions 3.4, 3.4, or 3.4 are going to be here, and then region 4 is through there, roughly. So at the moment, we can see that we're actually up here for region 1 and 2, and that is like Super Nino territory. If that was happening in the middle of the actual Pacific Ocean, that would be a Super Nino going on. Of course, that's in the eastern portion of the ENSO region. But by the time we get through to the autumn, we actually see quite a significant drop in the sea surface temperature from around 3.5 degrees above average to around just 1 degree above average by sort of October, November, December. So clearly it's warmer in the central region 3.4 region compared to the eastern portion, and when that happens, when it becomes warmer in the central Pacific Ocean, we call that a Madoki or a Madokai El Nino. That's quite interesting. A central based El Nino can sometimes coincide with colder winters, particularly in North America, but occasionally in our country as well. We will talk much more about that as we go through the season of winter updates. Of course we will. Just to confirm the positive IOD as well, I saw lovely Mark Bogan, our good friend Mark, showed this chart from Weather Zone in one of his videos a couple of days ago. Everybody check out Mark Bogan, give lovely Mark a sub. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. GavsWeatherVids and Mark Bogan are very, very closely aligned channels, so please check out the amazing Mark Bogan. But this is showing IODs on a monthly period all the way back to 2019. You can see that the IOD is currently just there, for August, is just there, I think, telling us that the IOD is the most positive, but it's been actually since the extremely positive phase of the IOD back in the middle and second half of 2019. So there is a theory that the PV of Doom winter of 2019-20, exceptionally by wet stormy winter that we had, was at least partly driven by that exceptionally positive IOD that we have in that period leading up to winter 2019-20. We are the most positive that we have been since then, but clearly we are a long way short of where we was there. So this is just like a rather positive IOD at the moment, but we are a long way short of that super positive IOD that we had in 2019-2020. Nevertheless, we will keep a close eye on the Indian Ocean dipole. Next week, we may have some forecasts for that. Atlantic hurricane season, of course, quite closely related to what's going on with sea surface temperature anomalies in the Atlantic. So these are the scores on the doors, Miss Ford, that the first time this season, we can see that for this hurricane, tropical storm, Atlantic hurricane season, we have had 12 tropical depressions, we have had 12 tropical storms, we've had 3 hurricanes, we've had 2 major category 3 or above hurricanes. This is in an El Nino year, remember, a developing El Nino is going on at the moment. So quite unusual to see that much activity this early on in a developing El Nino year. Ace Master Schreier has been already keeping a close eye on ACE. So ACE is accumulating cyclone energy and basically tells us how much energy all of the storms have emitted through the season. So we go all the way back to 1851 with this. The classification is below normal, near normal, above average and hyperactive. We come down to 2023 and we see so far for ACE, we are standing at 53.80 for this season. That is after, as I say, 12 storms, 3 hurricanes and 2 major hurricanes. So already looking quite big, actually. Remember, last year got to 95.10. And we are a little bit above average, you know, as well, at 41.10. That would be like the average, the running average for this point in September. So, you know, quite unusual. You would expect that we'd be below normal with a developing El Nino. Actually, we're a little bit above average, and seemingly with more to come as well. So thank you so much to Ace Master Shrine for updating that. And of course, we will be keeping a close eye on what's going on with the Atlantic hurricane season. Before we get to the end of these updates, we will be bringing you reanalysis, I would have thought, for Ace and for this Atlantic hurricane season. Okay, the last thing we're going to leave you with is this presentation from our good friend Richard Traut. Thank you so much to the King of Swing, Richard, although we're not sure, actually, if we're going to have a swingo this season. Are we, Rich? They're putting live text going, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, we've got to have a swing on it. The King of Swing has got to swing. But anyway, let's go through Richard's presentation. So here we go then. I want to end with this. Richard will be going on a holiday very shortly, but he wanted to leave us with this before he goes. So winter first thoughts for 2023-24. Hi, just looking at the first seas. And by the way, I'm very poor at narrating, so just keep that in mind. If I trip over my words, it's my fault, not Richard's, okay? So winter first thoughts for 2023-24. Hi, just looking at the first seas of winter 2023-24 before I jet off to Spain for my annual ritual lol. I will be looking at Solo Cubio ENSO CT years. Let's see what I found. August CT is what I've been waiting for. First of all, I looked back from 1850 to present to see how many June CTs were higher than July. Not many. Then I looked at how many August were also warmer than July. It's less than 10 overall. The hardest part was using Solar matches, Cubio matches, and ENSO matches due to non-existing data pre-1950, etc. Complex and complicated. I let the supercomputer break it down. What did I find? Closest matches to the current scenario appear to be 1858, 1920, 1940, 1970, and 2023, of course. Previous winters. So 1858 to 1859 was mild. 1920, 1921 was mild. 1940, 1941 was cold. 1970, 1971 was average. What about 2023, 2024? So these are Richard's thoughts. Winter 2023-24 initial thoughts, not the forecast, only based on limited early signals. And so looks like it will, at this stage, be moderate El Nino. That could favour a cooler European winter, not a given though. Gav's initial NAO forecast was for a negative NAO, so good for Europe perhaps. IOD, Indian Ocean Dipole, currently positive, but forecast to go neutral around winter, so no real signal there. QBO, quasi-Siberian oscillation, will be easy this year, and by the end of the year should be double digits negative, so a good signal but not a given for cold. So a cycle heading to maximum, usually not always 1 year or 2 years before maximum we see a colder than average winter. Could it be this year, or will ENSO ruin it? And one final thing to throw into the mix this year is SSW chances. More details on the next slide. This gets interesting with regards to sudden stratospheric warmings. When ENSO is moderate, the chance increases to around 77% chance recently. Of the last 17 moderate winters, 13 have had SSW sudden stratospheric warmings in the winters. Enhanced snow cover over Siberia has a 64% chance, so not as strong. QBO easterly phase gives us a 90% chance of a SSW of the last 20, and based on everything above, a chance of an SSW, sudden stratospheric warming, is around 77 to 80% chance of happening in winter 2023-24. So Richard's conclusion, and remember this is all very early and preliminary, but this is how Richard concludes things. So it looks like despite ENSO being an El Nino and moderate, it's not all bad news for cold lovers. SSW could well happen, but remember the important fact here is where the blocking sets up and which side of that blocking we are on in the UK. QBO positive. QBO is a positive in regards to solo and ENSO matches, but again, not a given at this stage. And negatives would be of the matches only 1940, 1941 had a cold winter. Having said that, there are only four almost matches. Only four almost matches, as nothing is perfect in the last 173 years, based on June's and August being warmer than June's and August being warmer than July on CET. So at this stage, I think winter could well be a mixed start. Could well be again. So at this stage, I think winter could well be mixed. A mild start is favourite, followed by a few colder spells. The length could well be extended with a favourable SSW blocking to help UK. Gav will keep you updated with all of the updates on our journey together, so tune in for them. Many thanks, Richard Traut, August 2023. Wow. Thank you so much to our King of Swing, Richard. Thank you so much, Rich. I'm so sorry when I stumbled over my words with that. I'm not very good at reading script, but thank you so much, Rich. And yeah, we've been wondering, should we have a swingo? Should we? What do you think in the live chat, everyone? Should we have a swingo? What do you think? What do you think, Rich? What do you think, Rich? Of course we're going to have the swingo. We wouldn't do away with the swingometer. It's one of the biggest fan favourites. And we will be bringing you the first swingometer for this seasonal update. In the fifth update, actually. And that will be on Sunday the 1st of October. So we've got to do another 4 updates. And then you will see at the beginning of the fifth update on Sunday the 1st of October how the swingometer is looking. But we could never do away with it, could we, Rich? We could never do away with the swingo. People love it too much. But thank you so much, everybody. It's been an epic video. I think we're around 45 minutes long. So, yes, we are. We'll get things wrapped up there. Thank you so much to Shryan and to Richard for all of the help on this epic first update. We've begun our journey. The journey has begun. And we're going to be bringing you winter updates and winter data every week from now right way through to the beginning of September, when we will release our forecast. As Richard has explained with that presentation, there's a lot of people feeling quite down already about this winter, but it might not be a done deal. If you want a cold winter, or there might still be quite a lot to play for, as Richard has just explained the reasons why. So hang in there. We're going to cling hold of the wreckage and watch your space. Winter updates might get much more interesting as we go along. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to all of you on the premiere. I know we've been here a long time, so thank you so much for sticking with it and being on the premiere with me. Thank you so much to all of you for watching, whether it's on the premiere or afterwards. We're going to be live streaming at 6 p.m. This evening on Sunday the 3rd of September. So if you've got any questions about this winter update, check into the live stream. I'll do my best to answer those. We'll do a 10 to 14 day and show long range on that live stream as well. It's going to be epic, and I shall see you a little bit later on. We're going to have another winter update for you next Sunday. Of course, second winter update will be next week, 10 a.m. for that one, not a premiere, just a regular upload for the first winter 2023-24 update. Thank you so much to Richard and to Shryan. Again, hashtag Team Gav. Thanks to the moderators as well, moderating the live chat during the premiere. And that's it for the first winter 2023-24 update. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again with more data soon. But bye for now. Woo!